mic is hot. We are live. And holy cow, look how many people we got here. This is a party. Logan, usually it's just me and you or me and my other buddy, but now we got 4 people here. Holy cow. Welcome. This is episode 5, so I figured I'd do something big. And what bigger way than to bring on a real life couple? Holy cow. Holy cow. Because, Logan and I, we're as single as they get. So it's like, why take dating advice from 2 single guys? Like we need people who are actually dating to get this stuff going. But why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I can go first. I'm Brenna Hyam. I am 21 years old. I live in Edmonton, Alberta. And I go to the University of Alberta here in Edmonton. I'm pretty fun, I think. And I'm engaged to that guy. I don't know if this is the right way, but Jonathan LeMay. I introduced him sorry.
She's stealing your thunder, man. She's just like taking it all for herself.
That's true.
That was
it's okay.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, yes, I'm done. Unless you want to know anything else about me.
Oh,
I never know what to say for
We're
these.
gonna dive deep into everything, so don't worry. We'll get there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, this is a modified form of couples therapy, is what we're saying.
Deal.
Awesome. Well, I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Jonathan LeMay. I'm 22. I go to the University of Lethbridge in Alberta. So we are a long distance couple. But I'm taking neuroscience.
So there you go. You're a smart man. You're a wise man, and you're a talented man. Is that all you're looking for, Brenna? You got your check marks here.
Yeah.
Just checking it off. It's perfect.
That's all I've got.
Well, so for the listeners, all 4 of us kind of have a unique relationship, a unique connection, and I kind of want to explain to the listeners how we know each other. So as you guys know, I know Logan. We've been friends for like 10 plus years since junior high. And then Logan, explain how you know Jonathan.
Yes, Jonathan and I were in the same MTC district. We were very, very good friends. He's one of the only people I still talk to from my mission that I care about talking to. Because I think we have very similar senses of humor. And we both like music a lot. And then through Jonathan, I know Brenna because Brenna and Jonathan were good friends before they were engaged. And Brenna plays a cello like I used to, and right in the back. And it's probably a lot nicer cello that I played. I think my cello was a plastic cello that had like banjo strings instead of actual strings. But Brenna was on her mission in Vancouver, and Jonathan asked me if I could write her a couple emails, which I did, and I had a lot of fun doing that. So that's how I know Brenna, but I've never actually seen her in person. And this is my second time seeing like an actual video of her.
Yes.
That's me.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, so my side. So I met Jonathan through Logan on Logan's podcast a couple of years ago. And then actually I served in the same mission as Brenna, but I never met her. We never met each other just because like we served in different areas or different times or whatever. And so it's just like so interesting how like, I don't know. It's just like we have this weird connection, all 4 of us. But I'm glad we're finally able to like sit down together and explore the wonderful aspects and philosophies and different things of dating. And so we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to jump right in. And so, Jonathan, I've been stalking you on Facebook to get a better idea of your relationship with Brenna here. So kind of tell us, it looks like you guys were friends beforehand. You've known each other for a couple of years. Kind of explain how you guys first met.
Yeah, so we actually have a very long and complicated dating story. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that people do what we did, but basically we met in December of 2017 at a YSA New Year's dance. I was about to leave on my mission in a couple of weeks, and I saw her. I thought she was cute, so I asked her to dance. And it was really weird, but she liked me anyways. She thought I was funny for some reason. And so we went on a couple dates because I realized I was super into her. And then when I went to leave on my mission, we decided, we're like, hey, like, if it happens, it happens, but like, let's not try and force things. We'll just write each other and, just be good friends. So we wrote each other for the entirety of my mission. And right before I got home, actually, is when she went on her mission. And then I wrote her for all of her mission. So that was about 3.5 years. Like, just missed each other. And then when she got home, we saw each other a few times, and eventually we ended up dating.
Dang. Holy
Hey,
cow.
Kyle,
Yeah.
do you remember when we went to that YSA New Year dance?
Yeah, of course.
And
Just like a couple weeks ago.
And how we didn't get anybody out of it?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
How Logan and I did not approach any girls
Yeah.
and say, hey, you're cute. Like, let's
Even-
dance.
Even the girl that was dressed up for the nightclub and not a church dance.
Yeah, she was a red flag walking around. But hopefully she doesn't listen to this. But that's crazy. So you wrote each other the entirety of your missions, which came out to be what, about 3.5 years or however. That's wild. That's crazy. Well, Brenna, I want to hear your side of things. We heard Jonathan's. Was that an accurate story that he told, or?
Yeah, it was pretty accurate. There's some there's a little bit of like, it gets messy when I came home, and he took me out the day after I came home.
He was
And
wasting no time. He was just, he was ready.
Exactly.
I mean, she messaged me as soon as she got released. So
Ooh, he was the first guy. He was the first guy you messaged. Oh.
And I don't know if people know much about missions, but like on our missions, we could only write each other once a week through emails.
Mhm.
And then it's like a pretty big, like, kind of, I wouldn't say culture shock just because I was in BC and it's like the culture is pretty similar, but just like situation shock where like it's so focused and then all of a sudden you're like not that anymore. So I actually cried after our first date because I was so scared to be on a date with someone. Yeah, and then I was like, I can't do this for a while because I just need some time. And then he's like, okay. And he like went for other girls. And then I was like, what's up? And he's like, okay, goodbye, hello. Like, yeah, it was a little while before we got together, but that's basically the gist of it.
Wow. Okay, Logan, let's be a family therapist here, a couple therapists here. Let's break down this situation. So Jonathan takes her on a date, right? And what did you guys do for that date? Do you guys remember?
oh yeah,
Ice cream.
just simple ice cream date. I was expecting her to be a little bit weird because you know how when you first get home it takes a little bit of adjusting.
Yeah.
So I was just like, no pressure, we'll just hang out, like super fun. And then it was kind of awkward. I expected that. But fun story though is like we had another date after that where I was like, oh, you've been home a week, you should come down to Lethbridge and see all of my friends and we'll go snowshoeing together.
Oh yeah.
So we did that and it was so awkward. Like it was so fun talking and writing and texting and everything. But like when we like drove down and drove up, it was like, it was a struggle to keep a conversation. Honestly, it was really awkward.
Well, and the thing is, like, he had told literally everybody that he knew in the city of Lethbridge who I was. And so I came down and I was like, oh, like, my name's Brenna. And they're like, you're cello girl. You're that girl. I know you. And I was like, oh, that's great. And so like all these random people like knew exactly who I was. And he had told them like so much about me, and I was like, oh,
I
rip.
think Jonathan has a really good habit of promoting people that he really likes.
Holy cow, dude, that's a lot of pressure. You show up to Lethbridge and everybody's like, you're cello girl, and you're like, cello girl, like who told you that? Like I've known this guy for, I mean, years, but like we haven't like been around each other. Like, holy cow, like that
Yes.
would be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy,
And-
especially. But
I specifically remember when Jonathan would tell me about the first dates that he went on with Brenna. And Jonathan was getting a little bit despondent at some points. I felt really bad for Jonathan because I was like, oh my goodness, because it seemed like Jonathan and Brenna were kind of written in the stars in a way. But
Oh boy.
when I found out that you two had kind of taken a reprise back into dating each other, that was very pleasing to my ears.
Yeah, I think definitely one of the things that change is like it was pretty evident we both liked each other before we came home, but there was like that 3.5 years of like pressure going into it, and like everybody knew about us, like her family knew about me, my family knew about her, and after we took some time apart, we took a little bit of a break. We didn't talk to each other for a bit. When we started seeing each other again, we both kind of went into it sort of just like really like just expecting to be friends. And I mean, expecting to be friends, I think we both wanted a little bit more, but it just without that, yeah, but without that pressure, it was just so much better. And it was so much easier. So I think if we're talking about dating advice, I think just put the least amount of pressure onto situations as possible. Like just go and like expect to be friends with people and have fun. And like obviously don't just be like, oh, let's hang out as friends all the time. But like if you just try to have fun and don't think like, is this person gonna be my eternal companion? Like, am I going to screw this up? But just go and try to have a good time yourself and try to have a good time with them. And I think that, dates will be a lot easier and they'll go a lot better.
dude, that is like exactly what we talked about last time, Logan. Like, like last episode, for those who listened, like we totally talked about just like chill out. You know what I mean? Like, don't like have all this like pressure on dating. Like obviously like it's important, but like don't stress out about it. Like don't over complicate it. Just like go in, with the expectation that you want to get to know this person and you want to be chill and you want to show them who you are, but you don't have to like have that pressure in your mind being like, oh, like this is going to be like something super serious, or especially in your instance where there was buildup for 3.5 years. Like holy cow, I can only imagine all the buildup. Like when you finally get together after Brenna gets back, and you're just like, you're probably both like expecting something to happen and sparks to fly immediately. When in actuality, it took time for you to get comfortable and to get into that groove. And so so chill out. That's all I gotta say is chill out.
Maybe the next time I ask out somebody I like, I should say, hey, can we go out, but not as like girlfriend, but just as like friends, let's go out, but I don't want to be a thing, but let's go out like as friends, just you and me though, not everybody else, just you and me as friends. I swear, just friends. Yeah.
Let's be honest, Logan, no girl is gonna believe that. No girl is going to be like, oh, he just wants to be friends. Am I right, Brenna? Or...
Yeah.
See,
No, sometimes, you can walk down the street and see a girl that you really like. Like, you look like a really good potential friend. I think we could be really good friends. But just that, perfectly platonic friends.
That's just not the way it works, Logan. And you know it.
I do. Yeah, there's no way to stealth your way through. It's either or, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Can guys and girls be friends without some kind of romantic interest or whatever? But we'll save that for another day. We have this couple here, and I just want to pick you guys apart because why the heck not? So help us understand, I guess, the timeline of your relationship. So you guys got back, you went on a couple dates, you took a little break, and then when you finally came back together, when was that? And kind of go from there.
Yeah, that was, oh, I don't even know. When did June?
July.
July. Oh yeah, after, no, because we went hiking in June, I thought, after Christina's birthday.
That's fair. So
July.
yeah, so in June.
Yeah, see,
so-
June.
Well, in June we went on a sunrise hike together, and that was the first time that we really like just got to like hang out with each other and just be like really chill, and it was awesome. And then we went and got ice cream. But the first time that like really something like romantic happened was in July when she came down for a YSA activity in Waterton, and you know, sparks flew, and it was crazy.
For me.
I did. I cooked for her. I got her a pie from a local pie shop. But yeah, it was crazy. I think we just both knew because like we went on like a couple dates, but like that was the first time that something like romantic happened, and we started dating like that weekend, and we were just like, we both knew that was like, we just wanted to be together. Yeah, so that was in July.
July 18th was when we started.
July 18th. Wow, you remember the exact day. Wow,
Day.
it must have been a very, very special day. I'm curious, who made the first like move or like the first like attempt to like show that you guys wanted to be more than friends, you wanted to be romantic?
That's a tough question because we've been through like lots of like, we like each other, but then it's like, no, we don't. We're just friends because we're like on missions. And then like, yes, we do. And then no, we don't. So I would say he made like the very, very first move, like 4 years ago was him. And then probably when I came home was probably him again. And then, I don't know, probably you again, LeMay.
Yeah, because I asked you to go out on the sunset things, but that was just as friends. I would say I made the first move all the times except for one when she did come down to Waterton. We were just chilling at my house, and she was really showing me that she was into me.
he always when he tells the story, he says she threw herself at me, and I'm like, I did not.
Yeah, but just like we were like eating
close to him while we were eating.
Yeah, we were eating, and she like cuddled up right next to me.
Okay, let's be clear. I did not. I just like sat next to him, like relatively close, but not too close. Like,
you leaned on me.
No, I did not. Maybe a little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but then I was like, okay, like I think she's into me, so I'm gonna make the first move again. So when we drove down, we went to the temple, and we were just sitting there talking about like sign language. She was teaching me sign language and stuff, and I decided to go in for the kiss. I put my arm around her, and then it was like a Disney moment. Honestly, it was great. But
you should have asked Brenna how to say I love you in sign language, and then you do the same thing, and then you go for the kiss, and then it's like,
how do you kiss me in sign language?
Yeah, just be using your hands.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, Kyle, but that's how he asked me. Like before his mission, we were sitting in a car, and I know French, and he was going French speaking, so he was going to Quebec. And he was like having me teach him some French words. And then he was like,
we also just listened to this song. We need some context. If any of you have ever listened to In the Heights, the musical, not the new show that came out because they cut this song. It's a song called Sunrise, and the guy gets this girl to teach him Spanish, and then he says, "How do you say kiss me in Spanish?" That's like the super romantic thing. But that's the backdrop. We had just listened to
We
this.
listen to that song and he goes like, how do you say like stars in French? How do you say like this in French? And then he says, how do you say kiss me in French? And I said, I'm not gonna kiss you.
But here's an interesting thing. For context, the word for kiss me and another word that's much ruder in French sound very similar.
Yes, it's true.
Interesting.
And I thought the story was gonna go there.
Oh no.
Well, I think that's very smooth. I think that was a very smooth way, but I guess not smooth enough because it kind of missed the mark there with Brenna.
Yeah,
she didn't bite. She didn't take.
Yeah,
the
it
bait.
was so funny because I just wasn't expecting it because we had like some good vibes going on.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like really suave and really romantic. I thought she wanted to kiss me because I didn't kiss her last date, and she kind of like hinted that maybe she wanted to, but she was just like kind of playing with it because she thought it was fun to tease me. Yeah, but I started laughing actually when she said that. I was like, dang, like you just shot me down so hard.
I mean, I think one thing we can learn from this, something on this podcast, is we always try to find a principle or something to take away from our funny conversations. And I think what we can take away from this is that what's that old phrase? If you don't succeed, try again. Is that how you say it, right? Because he got shot down there, and a lot of people, when they get shot down the first time, they give up, they give in, right? But Jonathan here kept through it for a couple of years, and now look what he's got. He's got a fiance, So ladies and gentlemen, don't quit after the first hurdle or first pitfall. Keep going. Keep going.
I think some context is also pretty good. Like we were really into each other. I think sometimes it can be good to like take a hint sometimes and just take some time off. I think that's definitely something that helped when she came home, is that she said she needed some time, and I was like, okay, like I'm willing to respect that, and that in doing so, like because it was something that like was going to be good and that she wanted, it's something that developed. But I would air caution about being overly persistent, as I've heard some bad date stories.
Yeah, persistence is key until it's not, right? So, and we've talked about this, Logan and I have talked about how like, honestly, dating is so like situational. And so you just got to play it case by case, right? Like there's no one way to do it or one correct formula to the equation, right? And so you got to play it case by case. Well said, Jonathan. Okay, so, moving back to your timeline, and so you finally started dating. What in like July or so?
Yeah.
Okay, and then so July of this year or July of, I guess 2021, right?
Yeah.
July of 2021. Okay, and then so describe like your dating process or like your dating phase. Like, what was the dating phase like?
I think the best way to describe it would be like an explosion. Just because we had been like pretending to not like each other for so long, and we had been apart for so long that we spent like all summer together. Like we started dating when she came down for Waterton, so we had a big trip. And then she came down for a week and we went and did like a ton of hikes in Waterton. We like spent all week together. We went and spent like a week with her family in Red Deer. We took a week-long road trip to her grandma's house in BC, like a month after we started dating. And then like a month and a half after we started dating, we went to Hawaii together, actually.
Sweet. Holy cow. You guys were just like doing like all these trips and all these things together. You weren't kidding when you said explosion. Holy cow.
Yeah. And we just like, I couldn't get enough of being around her. Like it was so great to finally be able to like be with her and to like be open about the way that I felt and have that reciprocated. So yeah, we just like every waking moment, we went up to Edmonton to this place called Nordig. We went cliff jumping, just so many different things, and it was honestly like so much fun. It was amazing. It was actually really funny because when we went on the road trip to BC together to visit her mission, I met her mission president and all that fun stuff too. But her grandma, her baka, because as they call it in Croatian, met us, and like the first time I met her, like first day, she was like, "You two should get married," and I was like, "We've been dating for a month, like it's okay." And then she was like, "But when you know, and you guys know, so you should just get on with it."
She totally called it.
Holy cow. Can I get your grandma to come on this show and like share her fire advice? Holy cow. She knew.
She knew.
And I think in a way you guys probably knew, right? You know, Jonathan, you were explaining here, like when you were around her, you just felt alive. Like you were having so much fun. You just wanted to be with her just because, you know, she was so great, you know. And I assume Brenna was probably feeling something similar, or she wouldn't be here today or on your Facebook, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so she knew.
I
That's really cool.
I think a takeaway that I get from this story is that just like we had such a solid base of just like friendship and like communicating that's been so important in our relationship. And I think a thing that I see a lot of people struggle with is like they're really good at being romantic, but they're not very good at being friends. So when the romance dies down or when there's hard times, it can be really difficult for them because they don't have a solid friendship. So like another thing on dating and just enjoying yourself is just like get to know the person, like develop a solid friendship. Like if you have a relationship that's like based on like physicality and just like these like intense romantic feelings, like eventually that's going to fade at some point. Like not that, you know, you won't be attracted to them or it won't be romantic, but it won't be this like intense honeymoon phase all the time. For most people. I mean, I'm still in the honeymoon phase, but it can really be nice to just have fun with them and just like have them be your best friend in like every sense of the term. Like you could just be happy with them even if you weren't like dating. If you guys were just like hanging out, they would be the person that you would want to call up and go do all these fun things with.
Yeah. I mean, you hear so many stories of like people, they're like, oh, like he's like my best friend or she's like my best friend. And like, we're just like so close. And I think that just makes so much sense. Like, why would you want to be with someone that you're like not friends with? You know what I mean? Like the reason Logan and I are still friends after like 10 plus years is because like we like hanging out with each other. You know what I mean? Like there's obviously like,
it definitely isn't for the romance.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Logan and I, we haven't ventured that far into our friendship.
I really hope not too.
But yeah, any thoughts on this, Logan? Your professional opinion?
You know, I've been thinking a lot about love songs that aren't about infatuation or like how attractive somebody is. Love songs that are actually about like the friendship that you develop with people and the sense and the vulnerability that comes from a relationship. And I found a couple songs I think they're really, really beautiful, but I think Jonathan really highlights the points that I think like any relationship, but I guess in this case, in a romantic context, if your entire relationship was based off of incredibly romantic gestures, like every day you give them a bouquet of flowers or this or that, you know, the intensity of those feelings are going to dissipate. You know, they're ephemeral in nature. And I would also say that I think if I got a bouquet of flowers every day, or if my spouse did something spontaneous every single day, I would be really, really annoyed. So, and I don't know if you said it, Jonathan, but I just remember, like, if you want to be a good couple, just learn how to be bored with each other. And if you can do that, then you'll be a good couple.
Interesting take, Logan. I've never thought about it on the flip side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wise
something
words.
that my brother always told me is like, you want to find someone that you can enjoy doing nothing with. And like, that doesn't mean that you do nothing all the time, but like, you know, life has certain periods of monotony and repetition. And it's really nice to just be able to like enjoy just like being with someone, like studying next to them or just like watching memes with them.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we are running short on time, but I do want to get to the actual proposal or like the engagement. Like tell us about like the whole like the scene, how you set it up. Tell us about the events surrounding that.
Oh,
Yeah,
do you
I
want to
mean,
do it?
Well, I mean, you did the thing.
How about this? Okay, so we'll get
We'll do
Jonathan
both
telling
sides.
us like how he set it up and like his thoughts behind it, and then we'll get Brenna's reaction to
Okay.
to the actual event. Does that sound good?
Okay, yeah. So basically, you know, we wanted to get engaged to be married in May because she has a year-long program and she wanted to move down. And, you know, we wanted to have enough time for like to plan a wedding and do all that stuff, which has been a fair bit of planning and everything. So we didn't want it to be too close. So she made me give her a time frame. She was like, you can't propose to me past like February if we're
Okay.
getting married in like May. Because we both knew a little bit. Like we were like, this is what we want.
Okay,
But
how I put it was, I would really appreciate it if you did this, so you would give me ample time to plan a wedding, right?
that is how she said it.
You have to, or I'm done. I'm lost. Like, you make it sound like an ultimatum. It was not that. It was like, I would really appreciate, and like, it would help me be less stressed. You can do it whenever, but it would help me be very much less stressed about things if you like did it before this time.
I strongly
true.
suggest is what
Yes,
she said.
exactly.
Yeah, this is true. This is how she phrased it, and I think it's been great to have that time. But yeah, so we sort of had this period of time that we expected a proposal to happen in, but I really wanted it to be a surprise, and I know that she would have really enjoyed a surprise. So reading week was coming up, and everybody thought it was going to happen over reading week because it was the perfect time. We could go out to the mountains together and, you know, have a proposal. But that's not a surprise. So I decided to go up to Edmonton, 5 hours driving without telling her, and to orchestrate something with her siblings so that they would bring her to a park and that I would be there ready to propose and that she wouldn't expect me there at all to be in Edmonton. So I got my siblings, like I got my sister Christina and her friend Sobi to come up, and we got these string lights and we got this tablecloth and I got a nice bouquet of roses, and we set up this. It was honestly beautiful. It was a lakeside pier and it had this giant fireplace. There were these string lights. We waited till it was like dawn, so it was like just like blue light.
I think you mean dusk, May.
Yeah, dusk, not dawn. Thank you.
Sorry.
But
Continue.
oh no, all good. And then I got her sister and her brother to take her out to the lake, and I was sitting there with a guitar next to this table of roses, and there's like these Polaroids that we printed out, like hung up on strings. It was honestly like beautiful. It worked
Really
out
beautiful.
better than I ever expected. And I wrote her a song.
You did, Jonathan.
He did.
Oh,
I did,
how
'cause-
sweet. How
Because
sweet.
I love music. Yeah,
A
so
song
it's sort of
about us. He wrote
Oh
a
my
song
God.
about us.
Yeah.
yes. So
I
it's a
helped him
song
with
kinda-
I helped.
Yeah, you have to give Logan the credit.
Yeah.
I was getting there. I was getting there. So it's sort of just like we talked about. It sort of outlined our relationship, and Logan helped me write a key change for the last chorus. And
Go, Logan.
for the last chorus, I sort of like changed the words from the first two chorus to be like sort of like the things that you say when you're proposing. I don't know what those words are called, but and then I made it rhyme with the last part, and I stopped the music and I got on one knee and I said, "Will you marry me?" And she screamed at me for a minute straight. She was so excited. She just literally like screaming. I couldn't even get the ring on her hand because she was just like jumping and screaming.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was just us. We wanted it to be a personal thing, so we didn't have anybody there to like photograph or anything. I had my camera set up secretly because I knew she might want pictures later, but it was just us alone on that like waterside pier with this fireplace like illuminating. It was honestly better than I ever thought it would turn out.
That's really well done.
And then we got ice cream.
Yeah. That's part.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. How is your perspective, Brenna?
Okay, I have to give a shout out to my sister-in-law. So I live here in Edmonton. I live with my brother and my sister-in-law. They live in Edmonton too. And so LeMay had texted my sister-in-law and like planned this out with her. And she like came up to me. She had this like whole thing, like this whole story about her friend who wants to like start a business and she needs like people to like take pictures of them wearing this shirt. And she's like, can you go take pictures? Because she knew that like I would want to look good, right? So I like did my hair and I did my nails and like makeup and everything, so I looked nice. And she's like, okay, like we're gonna go to this park and take pictures for my friend. And I was like, sounds legit. And then we get there and we like turned the corner where he was. And I thought like, I wasn't expecting him. I thought it was like someone else trying to propose to their girlfriend. So I was like, oh my gosh, like we gotta go. Like they're trying to have a special moment here. And they're like, no, like that's Jonathan. Like that's your boyfriend. And I was like, wait a second, what? Yeah. So yeah. And then I started screaming for a minute straight. I was just so excited. I'm a screamer when I'm a very loud person. You can probably tell I'm like yelling right now. I have to remind myself to not like yell because anyways. So I was like screaming and I'd be like, if you try to put it on, I'd be like, okay. Oh, okay. Like literally like that. It was great.
Holy cow, that's like something you see in a movie, man. It's just like perfect. Like I'm so glad that it played out like so perfectly. I mean, even if it didn't, like, I don't know, you guys like each other enough, you probably wouldn't care, but like that just makes the story so much better.
Yeah. It was really perfect. You did a great job. And the song was like, it was like all about us. So like melted my heart. It was so sweet.
It's like, what better way to confess your love than through song, right?
Yeah.
And so we got engaged in November, I think.
November.
So we've been engaged for 2 months now, 2.5.
4.
2.5.
It's February.
Well, it was like halfway through November.
No, it was November 5th, LeMay.
Oh yeah, okay. So like 3 months, yeah.
January 3.5. No, 3.
3,
beginning.
yeah.
Something like that. Whatever.
Okay.
The time.
Yeah. So we've been engaged for 3 months, and it took. Let's see, we started dating in July, so August, September. So it took me about 4 months from dating to proposing, and then it took.
Yeah.
And then it's been 3 months since.
Wow.
Yeah, but I will say, like we said before, like we had that really good like foundation of being friends. Like we had talked to each other like for 3.5 years. So like it was pretty quick, but like we had a really solid foundation.
Well, yeah,
it was
for sure.
It was actually really funny because in my mind, I always wanted to date someone for a long time before proposing. So I had in my mind like a year, 2 years. Like my brother and my sister-in-law, they dated for like 2 years, and my mom and my dad dated for like 10 years. So her family was like super scared that I was gonna take forever to propose. But I think like it just felt right, you know.
Yeah.
When the time is right, you'll know. That's what they say. That's what they all say. You'll know. You'll know.
No, no.
You'll know. And you guys did. You guys knew. So that's good. That's very good. Well, I don't want to keep you guys here all day. Obviously, you have things to do, but thank you so much for coming on, because Logan and I have been talking about this for months. How we literally have not had, like, well, A, we haven't had a girl on the show, and B, we hadn't had like a real life couple. And so it's just like two random guys. I have another friend that was on a couple episodes. It's just like three random guys who have like no like say in any of this. So it was really good to get your perspectives and to hear your stories. It was a really good story. And when's the wedding, by the way? When are you guys getting married?
May 7th.
May 7th.
2022.
Holy cow. That's in like what, 3 months?
Yeah.
3 more months?
I know.
Holy cow. You just got like a calendar. You're like checking off the days, counting down, you know?
So excited.
What I'm going to be enjoying out of this podcast is because everyone in Lethbridge knows who Brenna is as a cello girl. And now everyone in Utah State will know who Brenna is as cello girl. So that's another 25,000 fans that you have.
Oh gosh.
Disposal.
Yes. Mission accomplished. Brenna is now world renowned.
Oh boy.
Now my podcast is not that big, but yeah.
It will get huge because you finally have a girl now.
Yes, it will blow up because they're like, this guy actually has diversity. He has variety. He's not the same old every single time. Mm-hmm. He's got people from Canada. He's got Canadians on his show.
We're Canadians.
That's
international.
You guys are freaking international.
Exotic.
You guys are exotic, yes.
Exotic.
Well, I guess since it's the first time that we've had a girl on the show, some parting words may be of use. Beans, what would you say if you had to give one piece of dating advice to all those single dudes out there? What would you say?
Single dudes.
What about the women too?
And the women.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what the demographic is for this podcast, you know.
I don't know either.
Probably completely men, but have to be inclusive as well.
Yes.
Well, I'm a big believer in like, you don't need someone else to be whole. Like you don't need a second half because like you already have second half, you know, like you're not a half a person, you're a whole of a person. And so like, you don't need a person to like be whole and to be like wonderfully you. So that's like my first thing. And my second thing, I'm a big fan of be with someone who makes you laugh, because when things are hard or when things are boring, it really helps to be able to laugh with someone you love. And so I guess that's for both women and for men, is to, you know, don't compromise like your happiness and your joy for like what you think you want. Like someone who's like super good looking or like whatever, but I would say be with someone who makes you laugh and makes you laugh all the time, because LeMay makes me laugh every single day. And I love him for that. So
that is so sweet. Wise words from Brenna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's going to help millions of people are going to be blessed by your knowledge and your advice. But thank you so much, Brenna. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And of course, Logan, thank you so much as well. This has been non-professional dating advice. I failed to mention that at the beginning because I was just so excited to jump right in. And I had such a great time. So thank you guys so very much. Enjoy your what do they call it? The engaged phase or the engagement period or whatever. And
transitory period.
Sure. Yeah. There's the correct term for you. But congrats on getting engaged, and all the best to you guys moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.